What if I told you there was a way you can travel the world for almost no money at all? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, turns out there's a way that you can save thousands on your travels and to travel for much longer for no extra money. No tricks, no clickbait. It's how I've been traveling for the past 5 years. It was how I was able to stay in Kyoto, Japan for an entire month without spending a single penny. How is that possible? Well, let me show you exactly how you can travel the world for almost no money. Here's the problem. Traveling isn't cheap. When adding up the cost of accommodation, food, transport, and attractions, then it quickly becomes a very expensive hobby. Ideally, you'd find a way of making money while you travel, but sadly, it isn't that easy. In fact, it's a fucking ball ache. There are actually 60 different countries around the world that offer working holiday visas, which allow you to make a little bit of money to fund your travels. These include the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Thailand, and Japan. However, it's not always an easy process to get one, and you can easily get rejected. Neither is it a guarantee that you'll actually have a job once you get there. And worst of all, you can only apply for these visas in your home country. So if you're already on the road, then you're shit out of luck. Of course, that doesn't stop everyone. There are plenty of examples out there of travelers who work without the proper visa. Or so I've heard. Anyway, these jobs range from working a normal bar job to working in hostels or even your regular 9 to 5. But these are very much illegal. Getting caught by immigration will result in fines, deportation, and at the very worst, prison time. And at the very least, you'll be banned from entering the country again. So not ideal. So essentially, if you're already deep into your travels, it's very difficult to find a way to make money legally on the road. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There is still a way that you can travel as much as you want while spending the bare minimum: volunteering. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. I'm sure you've already heard of some amazing opportunities online. Work with turtles for 2 weeks in the Bahamas. Help save the elephants in Thailand. Who wouldn't want to volunteer for these? That is, until you find out the extortionate price that they charge for it. We're talking thousands upon thousands just for a week or two. Plus, you're hardly a volunteer if you're paying thousands before you even started. I'm sure a portion of the money does go towards helping the cause, but how much is really up for debate. Regardless, it's not really viable to spend months worth of a budget just on a week or two. That being said, there are still endless amounts of opportunities out there for free where it's a very simple exchange. You help them, they help you. I can already hear some of you saying, why in the almighty fuck would I sacrifice my precious time working for no money on vacation? That's usually enough to put most people off the idea. Plus, a lot of people aren't into the organic farming, hippie, brotherly love, tree-hugging bullshit that they picture volunteering to be. There's actually a vast spectrum of opportunities out there to suit your particular taste. But more importantly, there's some major benefits to volunteering while you travel, of which there are 3. Most backpackers dream of being able to spend as much time as possible on the road. But sadly, most of us don't live off daddy's credit card. Cash runs out. The longer you stay somewhere, the more cash you ultimately spend. By volunteering, your cost for accommodation will be absolutely 0. You can extend your trip by 2 weeks, a month, or even several months at no extra cost. Accommodation will always be your biggest expense when you travel, and it's where most savings can be made. Why do you think that most backpackers stay in bargain rate hostels? And as we mentioned, by volunteering you get a place for free. Not only that, but most volunteering hosts will either give you or pay for your food. So the only thing you'd have to spend your money on would be transport and any attractions you want to see while you're there. Meaning, on a daily basis, you could be spending nothing. You'll be spending time with locals and often in their own homes. They'll share their cultures and customs with you and often want to learn about yours too. These locals can show you the must-see places, the secret spots, and the places left out of the top 10 highlight lists. I love staying in hostels just as much as anyone else, but there's no more of an up-close and personal look at a culture, at a people or traditions and a lifestyle compared to volunteering. Okay, that's fair enough, but you want to travel. So if you're volunteering, surely you don't have enough time to do that. Not necessarily. Sure, you don't have as much time as compared to just traveling, but that's a sacrifice you have to make for free travel. That being said, you only have to donate a small fraction of your time. The amount of work depends on your host and the type of work that you do. They can range from between 15 to 25 hours a week and usually spread between 3 to 5 days. It may sound like a lot, but in reality it isn't. The workload is usually spread out in a way that ensures that you still have enough time to explore. For instance, in some places you might work in the morning, which frees up your afternoon. In other places you might work longer hours on your work days to ensure that you have more days off. Regardless, as you're saving money, then you can stay there longer anyway. There are a vast amount of opportunities across the globe, and it's not all dreadlock hippie, one love bro kind of experiences. It can be anything that you want it to be. It would be impossible to list all the different kinds of opportunities available, but some common types of jobs regularly pop up across the world. Farm work is a popular type of volunteering which has been used for decades. They can range from high production farms to simple, humble family-run ones, with a variety of work to do between them. Either way, expect to get your hands dirty. It could be harvesting, planting, ploughing, depends on the season. If the farm has some livestock, then be prepared to look after some cute little aminals. Have you ever noticed that hostel staff are usually travellers themselves? Well, there's a very good reason for that. The hostel gets free staff and you get a free place to stay. Win-win. And the work is so ridiculously simple and laid back. It's usually broken down into two categories: reception work and cleaning. Pretty self-explanatory, and it couldn't be easier. It's my personal favourite and the all-round best option for any backpacker. Do you speak English? Yes? You've got the job. It really is that simple. Another hugely popular avenue for travellers is to teach English, and it can be everything from a class full of kids to giving adults private lessons. Foreign countries have incredibly high demands for English-speaking teachers. For most of these places, they just want you to interact with the students, to answer questions, and to help improve their conversational English. You won't even need to necessarily be a native English speaker, and you don't need any qualifications. How about working with a bunch of adorable little kiddies? Many families are looking for volunteers to help with their children. Some families want to expose their children to English or just to expose them to different cultures. So sometimes all that's really expected of you is to hang around with a bunch of cute little kids. Hardly work at all. Sadly for this one, most families are only really comfortable with female volunteers, which is kind of unfair if you ask me. And naturally, because you're dealing with children, then the selection process is a little bit more select. Some families are willing to give a volunteer a place to stay just for a bit of help around the house. This can involve typical housework like cooking and cleaning or just general chores. And these kind of tasks are much more relaxed. I mean, what house has 5 hours of chores 5 days a week? Good news for the creative amongst you. Some hosts require help with some of your deepest passions and favourite hobbies, from running websites and social medias to helping write blogs and create videos. On the other end of the scale, some hosts want help of an artistic nature to help them decorate places such as hostels, cafes, or whatever it is that they need a creative touch with. Again, if this is something that you truly have a passion for, how can it even be considered work? These places are full of like-minded people that instead of wanting you to work, they want you to help. Now we come to the ultimate lazy bastard kind of work. No work at all. There are just as many people out there who just want to learn about your cultures and traditions, and in return they're willing to give you a place to stay. These are just the average kind of opportunities you can find, and it doesn't even cover half of it. There are plenty of quirky and unique opportunities out there, you just have to find them. Do you want to stay in a Buddhist temple? Or how about helping newly hatched baby turtles reach the ocean? All real, all free. So by now you're desperate to find one of these places yourself, and don't you worry, there are plenty of places for you to look. My personal favourite will always be Workaway, as they by far have the most extensive selection of the lot. They have more than 40,000 potential hosts across 170 different countries. Another popular recommendation is Woof, which specialises in organic farming across the world. Other such websites include Working Traveller, Moving Worlds, and World Backpacker. Now, most of these websites do have a small signing on fee. Now, don't panic, because I promise you it's not that much and you quickly make your money back. Workaway is the cheapest of all, where you have to pay £20 for a 2-year subscription. And if you're still not 100% sure, you can still browse through the different hosts, and I promise you it will get you hooked. As soon as you sign on, then you can volunteer to as many places as you want. Now, I'm not suggesting that you spend your entire trip volunteering. Of course you can if you want, but let's face facts, everyone's going to want a little bit of freedom now and again. Volunteering is the difference between a 1-month trip and a 3-month trip, while not spending a penny more. If you'd like to learn more about volunteering, then please feel free to check out my website, where you'll see more detailed information on different volunteering opportunities. If you yourself have had any volunteering experience, then please leave a comment down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, my friends, and I hope that this video can make a difference to your future travels.